I buy and sell a lot of coffee mugs lately, and I'm thinking of changing my title to Crazy Coffee Mug Lady. Rebranding, maybe, possibly. My family calls it my superpower. It's my ability to see value in things that other people might overlook. Sometimes I go picking with my boyfriend, sometimes it's my best friend Sue, and sometimes it's my kids. But at the end of the day, it's all about having fun and hopefully just maybe making a profit. Out on the table here, I have everything from yesterday's shopping video with Sue, and if you haven't seen that video yet, there is a link to it down in the description. We're gonna go over that stuff real quick. You may notice, if the camera is angled correctly, that there are a couple other items out on the table, but we will get to those. Let's talk about everything we got yesterday. Let's start with this awesome vanity jewelry box that we, oh, I gotta be careful. If you remember in the video, Sue tipped it and the drawers fell out, and it's like, oh my gosh, the drawers. Now this is a mid-century jewelry box, I believe. I'm gonna make sure the drawers don't fall out. Ah, no, stuff is still falling out. Where did that even come from? Did you guys see where that came from? That was just like a, I don't even know. Fall out. Okay, I'm gonna just set that aside. I don't know where that came from. Let's see. It does say made in Japan, so it's just, you gotta be careful when you turn it upside down that stuff doesn't go jumping out of it. It is made in Japan. I believe it was turn of the century. It has a little music box in it, however, it does not play music, unfortunately. And I do believe that it has been overwound because, I'm gonna take those out before they jump out. Now, I can't even wind it at all. Sue wound it at the shop to see if it would play music, and now it won't even wind at all. I think it's seized up a little bit, and I was gonna try to play with it to see if I could do anything with it, but I'm just gonna leave it. I'm not gonna mess with it. Ooh, that was loud. Sorry about that, guys. So this piece right here, in its current condition without the little music box working, I would probably expect to get, I want to say $25 to $35 for it. I've seen them in working condition going for $45 and up, but unfortunately this little music box does not work, which is kind of a bummer. But there are little screws in there. I think it could be removed. It could possibly be replaced, or you could just use it as another little compartment to store your jewelry. So I just absolutely love this thing. And I think that if my, well, I was gonna say if my bedroom was more mid-century decor, I could use it, but I would use it anyway. So it is a really nice piece. It's very Japanese, but it is a gorgeous piece. So it does actually look like it has some not mother of pearl, abalone. It has some abalone inlay on the top. So I'll take some good pictures of that when I post it on Etsy for you guys to see. But this was probably one of my favorite pieces of the day. One of my first and favorite finds of the day. So if I can get that back in there without breaking anything. Okay. Moving on, let's talk about my ashtray. Now, I will occasionally pick up funky ashtrays that the color is appealing or something about it is appealing. Usually they're mid-century when I do pick them up. Obviously this one is mid-century. I paid $5 for this. I have noticed that a lot of my viewers who don't smoke and still buy ashtrays will say, oh, well, you can use that for paintbrushes, or I use that for incense, or Sue even suggested using it for chopsticks. So there's a lot of different uses that don't really necessarily have to be ashtrays, because some of these ashtrays are just so artistic, and it's such a shame that like they put so much work and artistry into these ashtrays back in the mid-century when smoking was like the posh thing. And nowadays it's like, okay, so all these ashtrays are showing up in thrift stores and some of them are really nice, and it's like, okay, now what do we do with them? But I love repurposing them, and I think that, or, you know, if you smoke, you could actually use it for an ashtray, but if you don't smoke, I think this could definitely be repurposed for something else. But I paid $5 for this. I would probably ask, I want to say 18 for it, between 18 and 25 for it. It does still have its original sticker, Beard Japan. This piece is a Japanese piece, but that right there, I don't know if that was possibly where the lighter would have went, but it could make a perfect spot for a cup. You could put your coffee mug there. There you go. Coffee mug spot. Speaking of coffee mugs, let's talk about some coffee mugs. Okay, now I got this owl coffee mug. This was kind of, well, it was almost my last, we'll talk about this one, but this was almost the last thing that I grabbed for $1. I love these stoneware coffee mugs. They seem to be my thing lately. I'm finding them everywhere. And this was actually the second one that I found at this Goodwill. The first one I didn't get on video. It had a chip on it, so I just left it there, didn't even bother to film it. I paid $1 for this. I usually pay $1 for my mugs. That's usually what they have them priced at. This mug right here, I would probably ask $7 or $8 for. It's got a really nice chubby looking owl on it. He's not a very cartoonish owl. He's kind of like a regular looking owl. I love the cartoonish looking owls, but regular looking owls are okay too. So I paid $1 for this guy. I buy and sell a lot of coffee mugs lately, and I'm thinking of changing my title to Crazy Coffee Mug Lady. Rebranding, maybe, possibly. No, probably not. I'm not rebranding. But it was just a thought, maybe. We should get shirts made. Okay. Now, this is a really cool tiki mug. Speaking of mugs, a lot of the ones with bars on them will sell for really good money. This one does not have a bar on it. It is just a generic tiki mug. It is Westwood, Japan, and I was looking up comparable mugs. They seem to, these ones particularly, have a lot of chipping. Like every single example I found, the nose is all chipped up. I guess the glaze or whatever paint they use chips really easily or wears off or whatever. This one is in really good condition compared to the other ones I saw. I was actually kind of surprised. I don't know why. It was at the Goodwill. But I suspect it was banging against everything else at the Goodwill. But this one I would probably ask between $15 and $20 for, based on what others were selling for and the condition that the other ones were in. So this was a good buy. And I was like, you know, I know those sell for pretty good money, but I'm not really sure how much that one would go for. Apparently it was a good thought. So now, this one I had already checked out. And I made friends with the employees at Goodwill, and the woman checking us out was like, oh, did you see those mugs back there? And I was like, what mugs? And she's like, the ones that kind of look like Indian. I'm like, no. She's like, do you want me to show you? I was like, sure. So she walked me back and showed me these mugs, and they're really pretty. They do kind of have this like, the striped like Indian print on them, but they're Japanese. They're Takahashi. Stu knew exactly what they were, but I paid $1 for this one. Some of the older vintage ones can sell for good money. I don't think that this one is terribly vintage. The mark to me looks relatively modern. I wouldn't say super modern, probably within the last 20 years. But this mug I would probably sell for $12 to $15 based on other prices of these mugs. I couldn't find one like this though. I couldn't find one similar to this, but their mugs sell really well. This is one I'm gonna start looking for because I don't typically, well, I'm not usually looking for this brand, so my eyes are open now to this. So it's called Takahashi. I'm looking for those now. All right, moving on. This is Noritake. It is a Nippon dish. It is just like a candy dish or a little dish a decorative dish that you would sit out on the table. Paid $4 for this. It's very decorative. These dishes, as Sue said in the video, are not very valued at the moment, unfortunately. As pretty as they are, the price for them it's been in decline, so they're not worth a whole lot of money now. Paid $4 for this one. I would probably expect to get between, I want to say 18 and 24 for it. But it is a really pretty piece. I'm glad Sue had her eyes open on that one because I completely walked right by it. So now this piece actually surprised me because normally when I come across these pieces, the petals are chipped off, the fingers are chipped off. Something is wrong with it, almost always. This is why when you find pieces like this where there's lots of appendages, you have to look so very closely to make sure that there are not chips, because I'll tell you, like 7 times out of 10, I end up with a piece that is chipped. You guys know, you watch my haul videos and I'm like, darn it all, you won't believe it, but this is chipped or cracked. This piece, I made sure to look over it like 10 times before I bought it. There are no chips or cracks on this. Now, it wants to be fine porcelain. It is not. It is Japanese, but it is nice Japanese. I like it. I like the fact that it's not chipped or cracked, and I like the fact that it wants to be some nice European porcelain. So it's pretty. Let's see if I can get a close up here. I'm just checking it again. I'm checking. This is how bad I am. I'm literally checking it again to make sure there's no chips and cracks on it before I show you guys. I'm like, wait, let me check it over one last time, because I'm going to give you a close up and you're going to be like, wait, that's a chip or crack right there. And I'm like, no. This is just a darling piece. I paid $4 for it. Now this piece right here, I'm not sure how much I would ask for it. I know I did it to you guys again. I'm not sure how much I would ask for this piece, because I don't usually buy them, because I usually come across them and they're chipped and cracked. So I'm usually like, nope, not happening. This is the first piece I've bought in a very, very long time. So, yeah, I'm gonna have to think about this one, but it will more than likely either end up in Etsy or on eBay. I'm not sure. I think I have to call eBay to get my quantity increased, because I have like a limit of 10 right now, because I just started out. And they're like, you only get 10 listings until you call us. I'm like, okay, fine, I'll call you. Gosh, I hate calling you. Now this game right here, I liked it because it was a vintage game, and aggravation is something I feel on a daily basis. So I could relate to this game. Split level aggravation. I paid $2 for it. It says the game has all the pieces. I haven't actually investigated this yet. Whether it has all the pieces, I do not know. Now I paid $2. I briefly looked it up before I bought it, and some of them were selling for 50 bucks. And that was kind of like the encouragement, like, oh, maybe I should just grab it. But I didn't really look it up, because the split level aggravation sells for like $10 to $20. So there's still money to be made there, but it's kind of like, God, that's gonna be a pain to ship. Now I'm like, oh, is it worth it? Like, is it worth the hassle of shipping it? I need a box that's gonna fit that. So I'm gonna make my money back, but I'm just like, I really hope all the pieces are in there. Paid $2 for that. Now let's talk about this stuff. Now, when I was in Texas, my parents came over with their key, and they're remodeling their basement. And I had a bunch of stuff stored in their basement, but they're remodeling. So when I was in Texas, they cleaned out their basement and they brought everything over and they dumped it in my living room, which is okay. It was my stuff. It needed to happen. And I was kind of dragging my feet, cleaning it out of the basement. So I deserved it. But it's like, I came home. Oh, look, there's a pile of stuff in my dining room. This is great. I just, but going through it, it's kind of been like Christmas. It's like, oh, look, I don't remember buying this. Where did this come from? And a lot of it had been from like when I was doing estate liquidations and I was doing clean outs. So half the stuff is like, oh look, that came from that clean out. So it's kind of been a fun experience, but at the same time, it's like so much stuff to go through. But I'm going to be listing a lot of this stuff on Etsy and eBay, so I wanted to talk to you guys about it before you just see it pop up, because a lot of the stuff that goes into my Etsy store, you guys see it and you're like, oh, I remember her having that. So this stuff is going to be popping up and you're not going to have any context of where did that come from. Now you know. So I've got some fairy lamps here. I've got this amber fairy lamp. This is a pretty cool piece. This is just pressed glass. Now the amber is rather common. I don't actually know how much I'm gonna ask for this stuff yet, but I wanted to show you guys because I love fairy lamps. Some fairy lamps can sell for really good money, and I didn't even actually know that I had them sitting over there, and I was like, oh, I'll grab those for my haul video. And I got this Amberina fairy lamp. Now the Amberina glass, this is amber, this is Amberina. So the Amberina glass is this graduated red to yellow, and this is called Amberina. This has got holly on it, and I know that I have a green one somewhere too, so I may end up listing that as well. And I haven't actually checked these fairy lamp prices in a long time. That's why I'm not sure how much I'm gonna ask. I haven't sold fairy lamps in a very long time. But I remember getting these pieces and I absolutely loved them, and they were in storage. That's where they've been all this time. So those are gonna end up going up in my Etsy shop. I'm not gonna eBay those. Those will be up in Etsy. And the green one, the green holly one, will probably make it up there as well. And then we've got this figurine that still has the price tag on it. I paid $3 for him. He looks to be a little Scotty dog. And I'll probably throw him out for my typical figurine cost, probably about $12. But he doesn't have any chips or cracks, despite probably being stuffed in a box with a lot of other stuff. So those are just 3 items that I pulled out of the massive hoard that was waiting me in my dining room. And I did get footage of that too. I have footage of that. I filmed it, and it's kind of just been sitting on my hard drive, and I've been debating whether or not to share it with you guys. So if you want to see that video of me like, oh look, here's a giant hoard in my dining room, let me know in the comments, because I've just been sitting on it and I'm like, I don't know if I really want to put this footage out because I look like a complete hoarder. But as of now, my dining room is clean, so I don't feel so bad about it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this haul video. We got some good stuff, nothing crazy. It was kind of a little bit disappointing. We usually have more. I think you're catching on to me, guys. But no, we did okay. But I hope you guys enjoyed the shopping video. Again, the link is in the description, and I will see you tomorrow. Later. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and if you've spotted something that you just can't live without, don't worry. I've put a link to our Etsy store down in the description.